In this video, we're going to get to do quite a bit of practice with half-life for radioactive isotopes. Again, Chapter 11 for Chem 101. We're gonna do 3 separate homework problems, so you get 3 for 1 on this. It's a pretty big deal. So let's go ahead and get started. So for homework number 40, question number 40, they give you a 48 milligram sample of some radioactive isotope undergoes 4 half-lives. How much is left? So they want to know how much is left in milligrams, right? So if you remember, the fraction remaining is 1 over 2 to the power of n. So fraction remaining, what do we mean here? If you have 50% left, you're going to have to represent it as 0.50. So this is what they mean by fraction remaining. It's going to be a decimal. So we're going to find out what fraction is going to be remaining, and then we're going to multiply it by the 48 milligrams. So if you undergo, and let's just think about this, if you undergo 1 half-life, how much is left? 50%. What if you half that 50% again? 25%, right? So let's calculate the fraction remaining when we put 1 over 2, and remember, n is the number of half-lives. Half-lives. So it's going to be 1 over 2 to the power of 4, right? And if you do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, you get 1/16, right? So it's going to be 1/16 of the original amount. So 1/16 is essentially 0.0625 left, right? That much. This, you could think of this as 6.25% left, right? So how to find how much is left? You take this number times 48. So 48 times 0.0625 equals 3 milligrams. So that's the answer for that one. Let's analyze our answer for 1 second. If we underwent 1 half-life, how much would be left? 24. What if we halved that again? 12. So we've done 2 half-lives and we're at 12. What if we do it again? We'd be at 6. What if we did it one more time? We'd be at 3. So make sure that you can do the math for this. This is very important. Let's do 2 other examples that are directly from your homework. What about this one? Bismuth 210 has a half-life that's approximately 8 days. How long will it take for a 64 milligram sample to go down to 16 milligrams? So this is what I'm interested in. 16 milligrams is how much is left. 64 is how much we started off with, right? So we went from 64 to 16. That means that we had 16 is left. We started off with 64. That means, so if I divide those two out, 16 divided by 64, it looks like we are at 0.25 left, right? Or you could view it as 1 over 4, a fourth, right, left from the original. So 1 over 4 is equal to 1 over 2 to the power of n. What is n in this case? N equals 2. So 2 half-lives passed. If each half-life is 8 days, we have to have 2 times 8 days equals 16 days. 16 days passed. So you see how I did that? They give me a starting amount and a final amount. I can determine how much is left. We had a quarter left, a quarter of our original amount left, so 1/4. Then I determined that what does 2 have to be taken to, what exponent, in order to take it to 1/4? I have to take it to the power of 2. So that means 2 half-lives have passed. And since each half-life is 8 days, this has gone on for 16 days. Last, and you notice how all these examples are just a little bit different. So now they're saying how many days does it take for a 1.5 milligram sample of lead-103, which has a half-life of 17 days, to decay to 0.188 milligrams. So we're going to do something similar up here. I'm going to find out how much is left. So if I end up with 1.88 milligrams, but I started off with 1.5 milligrams, how much, what fraction are we talking about is left? It seems that we are left with 0.125 of our left, right? Which is what? Equivalent to 12.5%, if you want to think about it that way. So let's turn this into a fraction, right? That would be 1 over, is it 2 to the power of, the 0.125 is the same as saying 1/8, right? So 2 to the power of 2, 3. You guys with me on that? 2 to the power of 3 is the same thing as saying 1/8. This is equivalent to 1/8 left. Turn it into our original formula, 1 over 2 to the power of n. N has to equal 3, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. We have 1/8 left. So that means we did all that to find this number. 3 half-lives passed. If each half-life is 17 days, that's 3 times 17 days. So 3 times 17, that's 51 days. $51 days to go from 1.5 milligrams to 0.188 milligrams. So hopefully this helped. I know this can seem intimidating, but trust me, it's not going to get any more tricky than that on the exam. Good luck, guys.